Today we find ourselves on the Zurich Sea, and we're visiting one of the world famous gallerists here in Switzerland. One of the most unconventional artists in Switzerland, Pierre la Rough A. He's lived a life of tragedy. Was an alcoholic for a long time, and came through that. And he's been married 12 times. But he's an artist of the first degree. He's getting ready. I think he's going to be joining us soon. We were still waiting for the well-known gallerist Pierre la Rough A. And I hope that very soon he will be able to show us some of his work. He's a very busy man, and doesn't usually do interviews or speak about his work. But today he's promised that he will perhaps show us a little of his work in progress, and we'll have to see. But these artistic fellows are very unpredictable. Pierre la Rough A. Guten Tag.
Bonjour.
Thank you very much for taking the time to
Come
progress.
to the point now. What do you want to see?
I'd like to see your latest work, if that
Yes.
is possible.
My latest work is a thing I did with an American friend. It's called Stubo di Luzzi.
Stubo di Luzzi.
Stubo di Luzzi.
From Illinois. Well, let's go and have a look then, huh?
From what?
At the work.
Ah, the work, yes.
Yes.
yes. A nice young man. What was your name?
What an exciting piece of work this is. Cafe, so simply describing the cafe, and what does it actually mean?
This is a story I lived for about 2 or 3 days in a small village in Switzerland.
Well, I see the price, 42,000 Swiss francs. It's amazingly cheap for such a splendid work. How can you sell it so it's too cheap?
It's only the half of the project cafe. If you see west, this west. The corals of, the corals of, how are they called? These monks living in Scotland or anywhere. Yes. I listen to them I listen to.
And did anybody ever tell you one of the most boring people I've ever interviewed?
No. This is a kind of happening, huh? We did it in the 70s. I remember the happening.
And now we come to the world famous triptych, the Sun, the God and the Ghost. And you worked for a long time on this piece of work. Would you care to tell us a little bit about the meaning behind the triptych?
You see, it's done from nature. So we worked on it for 5 years. For example, this part here, this. Yeah? This is broken here.
In the crown of thorns, please.
This was a dish, a plate I got in China, in a very, very small restaurant in Peking. We created this little work with. I worked for 3.5 years only on this. Very.
The shell is absolutely.
Yes, it's spit. Don't touch it.
But I own it now. I've bought it. I paid you 14,000 francs for this piece of work.
It's a visual artist.
I've bought it and I'm not allowed to touch it.
No, you are allowed to look at it.
But not touch?
No. Everything you buy here is staying here and you can come to look at it. Don't touch it. My God. This is ruined now. I have to work for hours to repair it.
Well, perhaps you could show us how you work. Show us how you rearrange the shells to
so Schweizerbrille an.
Here we are, observing Pierre Rough creating a masterpiece of art. How deftly he arranges the snail shells within the crown of thorns, sitting peacefully on the moss. And there we have it, another masterpiece.
You can't see the inner processes working when I work with my hands. So entre moi, c'est comme des deux mers. You can't really stand it.
And you often have to have a little sleep after doing some hard rearranging work in the art, and you feel exhausted and fatigué.
Yeah. It's very, very, very tired now. Very, very tired. Alors, qu'est-ce que j'ai fait? Je faisais une truc du bois, a piece of wood, and I combined it with the roots of a strong old oak tree. This means the conclusion is comment explain in English?
Yes, here we see. What's the name again of this work?
Les deux amis.
Les deux amis.
Les deux amis.
Oui. Dans le sac de abfall. One feels that one is invited to put one's head in the bag and smell the odor as a symbolic decay of the plants and the roots, symbolizing the decay, and perhaps when you try to create the work is...
Sorry, I didn't listen. It's, can you repeat it?
Yes.
Please? Give a blind man a horn, and he will be the least who hears the sound.
He who plays the piper, pays the piper, calls the tune. Yes, exactly.
This is what I mean. Très jolie petitesse de ma dernière année. The last year I did this. It's called Shoe on a Tree. I named it in English because I want to sell it in New York. So I did this funny little, it's like a satirical work. It's meant, it's an answer to all the questions of God and anything, you know? No, this is the tree with the shoe sole, and the sole means heart to soul, and where's my soul swinging? You know? Is it in New York City or is it in Afghanistan? Je suis très contente avec cette petitesse merveilleuse et lovely, like the Americans say to my work. Lovely. It's a beaver tree.
I'd be very, very interested to buy the sandal in the forest. Is that for sale as well?
The sandal in the forest is sold. I'm sorry at the moment.
Wasn't there another work, Sandal in the Wheelbarrow?
Yes.
That got destroyed in a fire or something?
Yes.
Do you have a version of Sandal in the Wheelbarrow I can look at?
Sandal in the Wheelbarrow. Yes.
Ah, the Sandal in the Wheelbarrow.
The original Sandal in the Wheelbarrow, yes. You are a real connoisseur. This enjoys my heart.
Could we have the Sandal in the Wheelbarrow next to the deux amis? Please, please,
yes.
Could you do that for me?
Why not?
Oh, bravo, bravo.
Dynamic motivation of moving. a sandal with a wheelbarrow. Who wore the sandal over the water? You know what the wheelbarrow stands for? The old... Oh, my God! I'm afraid I've destroyed the work. You are insured. You are insurance.
No, actually, I'm not a filmmaker, really. Yeah, I think that's better, isn't it?